Hey yo, what's good? What's Gucci? It's your boy Philly Dub back with another reaction video. It's Mr. I can't do it on my own, Mr. God put me on. I was made on purpose for a purpose, and guess what? So are you. Alright, so peep swag, yo. I know it's been a minute. It's all good. I've been on live, making other videos. Hey, make sure to follow my socials too, Philly Dub, bro. For real, because I'm doing a whole gang of content, you know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful, I'm thankful, appreciative of you guys, whoever's watching, or if you pass this too, man. But you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button one time for the one time. So I know I haven't done reactions in a minute, but I need to get consistent, bro. I'm changing everything. I started waking up at 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? It's been consistent now for about a week and a half. But yeah, so let's go ahead and run it. I haven't been caught up on the sports thing, so let's see what's going on. I don't know what the heck is going on. I think the draft is this week or next week. I can't remember, but Kyler Murray went to the Vikings. That's the last thing I heard, man. But let's take a look here. Let's take a gander.
Schrager with his notebook open here. 2 days from the start of the draft. I've got 3 picks up at the top I'm fascinated by. Peter, let's start at number 2. The New York Jets, after Mendoza goes 1, what are we hearing about the Jets' plans at 2?
It's going to be Arvell Reese or David Bailey, and I'm going with David Bailey, and it doesn't come from the Jets. I'll be honest, biggest takeaway from this entire pre-draft process has been how it has been lock and key in Florham Park. No leaks out of that building. Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn said their pre-draft press conference. Nothing revealed there either. But David Bailey, to me, is the more polished pass rusher. And around the league, the expectation is the Jets are going to take the guy who can play now over the project who is 20 years old.
Okay, let's then jump to the Giants at 5. They've got 5 and 10. What are we hearing?
The project who is 20 years old, Arvell Reese, might very well slip to 5. If the Cardinals go offense and if the Titans take Sonny Styles, 5 could be Arvell Reese's home to the Giants.
Dude.
I would also look at Jordan Tyson. The smoke is real there. As we detailed in the first hour, Joe Schoen, the general manager, traveled out there to Arizona last week, 6 days before the NFL draft. Not only attended his workout and where he was awesome, he also took him out to dinner the night before. There is real love there, and he might not be sitting there at 10. They might have to take him at 5 if they really want Jordan Tyson.
And so then let us take the circuitous route back to 3, because I'll take everyone behind the scenes. I posted on Twitter on Sunday, I think that the first real fulcrum point of this draft is at 4. And you tweeted back at me, Greeny, don't forget about 3. Why?
Greeny and I are friends in real life and on Twitter, folks. And in this case, I was tweeting him that because 3 is a spot where the Cardinals are accepting exploratory phone calls, and there is a consideration they could trade back with so many holes on their roster. That said, despite having James Conner and Tyler Algier and other running backs in that room, the thought around the league is that the Arizona Cardinals, to give them the most offensive firepower as possible, are the landing spot for Jeremiah Love, a running back, 3rd overall in 2026, a very real possibility.
That's general manager. If you're the Arizona Cardinals and you need almost everything, does it make sense to take, albeit a great one, a running back at 3?
I don't think so. I would go with either Arvell Reese or David Bailey. As you said, they need help everywhere, but get that pass rush solidified. You really don't know who your quarterback's going to be. And I think there was a really instructive lesson last year when Ashton Jeanty went to the Raiders, extremely talented. Raiders had challenges on their offensive line. Cardinals still have some holes on their offensive line. I don't think this is the time or the place for Jeremiah Love in Arizona.
By the way, I meant to ask you one other thing. The trade talks with the Cardinals at 3, would that be Love teams would be coming up to get?
It could be Love, who is viewed as the #1 offensive prospect in this draft by a mile, or it could be for the Reese Bailey, who doesn't go to number 2 overall to the New York Jets.
What do you think of it if you're a running back? If you're a team like the Cardinals, does it make sense to take Jeremiah Love?
No, and he's the best prospect in this draft, but when you have all the needs that the Arizona Cardinals have, it just doesn't make sense when you have guys that you've added to the roster at the running back position, go out there and get difference makers at other positions.
So, Mr. Wilbon, you have watched Gale Sayers. You have watched Walter Payton.
Yes.
And you have watched all the great running
Yes.
backs. I just named the two greatest of the Bears running backs.
And
all
two of the
these
greatest
great
of
running
all
backs.
time.
Does it make sense, in your view? You know what the conversation is. I know how you feel about analytics. I know how much you enjoy those. How do we feel about this new theory? No, it's not a theory. The absolute belief now in the league that you cannot, the value says you don't take a running back this
I've
high.
listened and I've been moved
I
a
don't believe
lot by what you guys have talked about all week, and particularly the last week. Yes, I come from a place where not knowing who the quarterback is, we never know who the damn quarterback is in Chicago until now.
Yeah.
And yet that didn't stop Walter Payton from being maybe the greatest running back of all time. It didn't stop Gale Sayers.
Arguably,
The injury
for
stopped
sure.
Gale Sayers. We never known who the quarterback was. Those teams also weren't very good, rarely any good. Here's the problem with saying they're not good enough now to take a running back. Teams move from fourth place in a division to first all the time.
Absolutely.
There are two of them every year. I just saw the
100%.
Bears do it.
Yep.
So, in other words, they're not good enough to take a running back. Oh, but then the very next season they are? Which is it? I mean, some of this stuff with analytics,
Yeah,
common
it's crazy.
sense flows the other way. Again, you guys have persuaded me. The finances. And Peter, you talked about this. You and Graziano talked about this very eloquently. And I'm like, all right, I got to back off this a little bit. But here's the other question. Jeremiah Love doesn't make you better. He makes your defense better. Because on 3rd and 2, you don't have to come off the field because you don't have a guy who can get 3 yards. He makes your defense more effective. So he makes your quarterback
See,
better.
he's
When you have
spitting.
this kid has
Absolutely
greatness written
spitting.
all over him. And so the Cardinals, you need a number of players. You guys are so right. And that's the hesitancy I have.
Yeah.
But you don't need a great one in the building. You don't need a guy who's going to make your locker room feel better.
Facts.
You don't need a guy who, when Walter Payton got to the Bears, it's interesting hearing players now, older than me, former players, talk about what it is like in a locker room, having someone you know cannot be stopped every week, no matter how great the defense is. Has that changed? I know the finances have changed in 2026. Has that feeling of superiority, and you would know?
I will say this. In a draft where there are so few blue chip
I was gonna-
prospects, so few.
Can I offer
And you
something
have
I
an
got?
opportunity
Yeah,
to get
facts.
the number one.
I just-
the number
Yeah, get
one.
him.
I think
You
that
gotta
would be
get him.
compelling for
I
Arizona
spoke to a
Cardinals.
GM yesterday. I'm doing the mock drafts, and I'm like, I've got Love going 3 to the Cardinals, Styles for an off-the-ball linebacker, and then we have a safety, Caleb Down. It says, this draft, with the lack of blue chippers at premier positions, throw positional value out the window. That means Jeremiah Love.
So because sometimes I worry
That's
that we
interesting.
assume
Too much
the
in the
audience
weeds.
understands, everyone understands.
Offensive
What
tackle,
you're saying is
quarterback.
take the great player.
Yes.
If there's a great player, take the great player, even if he doesn't
Look
play
at
the
free
position.
agency and see who got paid this year. It's offensive tackles, it's wide receivers, it's corners, and it's quarterbacks. None of them are the blue chippers this year.
And I understand why you would move away from the salary cap argument. Miami, the Jets clearly rebuilding. And worst case scenario for the Bills is not to get A.J. Brown. It's if he goes to New England, because now we have to cover him twice a year. So to me, DJ Moore was a good start. He's a solid B. But if we could go get A.J. Brown, again, last year they were 15th in the league in passing yards per game. Great offense, but their passing attack needs help. So not only do I want to keep A.J. Brown away from the New England Patriots,
Right.
I want to add him to the Bills and give our quarterback a chance to win it all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think DJ Moore was them checking that box. But to Mike T's point, no harm in raising the price as much as you can if it's a one-horse race. It seems like it's the Patriots and nobody else right now. So if you're Buffalo, why not call and say, okay, well, let's have some negotiation, really drive up this price, and then you can always back out at the end. But to me, DJ Moore was that. They traded a second-round pick for him. Whether fans liked it or not, he's going to be the guy, I think. And I think A.J. Brown might be a little too rich for them because I don't think they have the bounty to give up to go and get him.
Michael Wilbon, your perspective on A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown is a difference maker in some places. In New England and Buffalo, given their situations, head-to-head personnel would be 2 of them. But he's overstated. His value has just been wildly ratcheted up. I'm sitting here, during the break, I said there were 10 receivers off the top of my head I might take or would take ahead of A.J. Brown. We got to 8, and I'm sure we missed somebody. Both guys in Cincinnati, yes, both.
Right.
Jefferson, Puka, CD, JSN, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson. But I'll take any of those guys. So let's not go crazy with I'm not giving a haul up for A.J. Brown, and he's a nuisance.
Okay,
so let's be honest about this.
Right, there's going to be attacks with receivers, but all those receivers are on the teams that were drafted. It's unusual for a player of his ability and his prime to be available. So again, we're playing chess here. Not only do we want to acquire a talented player, we're trying to keep him away from our competition.
But maybe what he's raising is why is a player this talented being traded for the second time? That's the point. A.J. Brown is not even 29 years old yet. It feels like he's been in the league for so long.
Yeah.
I was myself surprised when I looked that up yesterday.
But Green, if it goes to New England, right? His coach, Mike Vrabel, had him in Tennessee.
Right.
Doesn't that tell you a lot about what he thinks of the player?
And Mike, that's why I said there are places where A.J. Brown could make that sort of difference. It better be one. It better be one of those two. I mean, how long is the list? 6, 7 teams, maybe. But the notion that he has such great value because everybody in the league is going to drive it up.
I will add this, though. The Rams were at the 1-yard line for a trade for A.J. Brown, and then it fell apart at the end.
If they were at the 1-yard line, they were going to throw it to Devontae Adams anyway.
So there's always that mystery team. So no one knew that. I mean, could the Browns be involved in an A.J. Brown trade? You might say, well, that wouldn't be fair to A.J. Brown. Sorry. Like, that's just what it is. If they have a gaping hole at wide receiver, are they the team that...
If A.J. Brown winds up on the New England Patriots, what does that mean in the AFC next year, D. Wood?
I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC. I wouldn't pronounce them as the team in the AFC. I think the Denver Broncos will have something to say about that. You know, Bo Nix healthy and their addition with a Jalen
Nix is a
Waddle
dog,
to
baby.
their receiving core. But clearly, you know, you got a third-year quarterback who was second in MVP voting. You add A.J. Brown to what they already have on offense. I mean, New England is going to, offensively, is going to be one of the top teams in the league.
Here's what I said about it yesterday. If I were a Patriot fan, which anyone who knows me knows I'm obviously not, I would be deliriously happy that my team is going after him because it would mean that they accurately understand where they were, which is to say they're a really good team that ascended last year and may have gotten further somewhat artificially. They played 2 playoff games, one's at home in bad weather against Houston, and the opposing quarterback played literally the worst game I've ever seen. Then they go to Denver and they play without their quarterback, and then they get shellacked in the Super Bowl. So you assess yourself correctly. You say, we're good. We're going in this direction. Quarterback has a chance to be really good. Let's go get the guy who puts us over the top. If I'm a Patriot fan, I'm delighted that my organization has looked at us that way.
No doubt. And the Patriots, look, the one bit of reservation I have is Drake May going into his 3rd year, the guy who needs to be handling that? I mean, we're not talking about a veteran quarterback who has been around for so long. And I shouldn't even mention Tom Brady's name. Forgive me for doing it.
Right.
But as we move in that direction toward a 8-10-year veteran quarterback, if this was Josh Allen, and you got A.J. Brown, somebody to help just sort of keep him in line. That to me is that a legit worry, Mike?
Yeah.
Yo, a lot of draft stuff happening, man. This is the time where stuff starts getting super exciting. A.J. Brown wanting out. I mean, low-key, I think he's a problem on and off the field. I mean, he's a problem most definitely on the field, you know what I mean? But, I mean, him and you know, Jalen Hurts, they was, like, super cool, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, and he wants out of Philly, and I get him going back to meeting with Vrabel, but I think Vrabel also knows the vibes, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's something that I think you really got to consider. Like locker room disruption, all this other stuff. I know that they just lost Stephon. If the 3rd pick, Jeremiah Love, I mean, they don't put a big value on running backs, but if you take a look, like, if you have a solid running game, like, it only makes your offense that much better. But at the same token, you got to have an offensive line. You feel me? So it's just one of those things, man, where, you know, you got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we're going to see. We're going to see what's up. We're going to see what's Gucci. Very interested to see what's cracking. But yeah, hey, there's my reaction, yo. I appreciate y'all rocking with me for real. I'm grateful for all you guys for real. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.